600, about how they do typically have the stronger early game with this composition. Rux looking for a bit of a roam, but you have to wonder how this affects Fnatic mentally as well. We saw yesterday, made a bit of a joke on Twitter. It was like, oh, hang on, hook lands.
Hook already onto Jonghoon. He flashes away. He's healed as well, but Rux with the flash chase. Jonghoon able to dodge away. The bubble coming out as well. Rux has been chunked out here. Razork, oh, look for the denting blows. Couldn't quite find it. 113 waiting in the wings as well. The piercing arrow just short of Jonghoon. They do get the flash and the heal, though, out of the Nami.
113 is here, though, to offer that support. And he's doing a great job in this early game. Just such a good early game plan from Astralis. They know exactly what Fnatic wants to do. They know that they want to try and get this bot lane ahead early, and they've shut it down completely. 2 attempts now, faltering in both instances. Astralis, they came prepared. They still want to compete in the best of 3s next week. And securing a win here would give them a damn good fighting chance at securing that spot.
Yeah, tomorrow they face up against Koi as well. Koi on form so far this week. We'll see how they're doing the match of the week next against G2. But if Astralis can claim this win, then their fate is in their own hands. If they're able to pick out that win tomorrow, they'll be guaranteed our group stage. For the moment, though, it is only a 400 gold lead for Astralis. A few faltering signs from Fnatic in the early game, as we saw yesterday. But now, they haven't fallen too far into a hole.
And again, I will emphasize that Fnatic do still have a pretty good scaling comp overall. I think that they do have potent team fighting power, and their range is going to be very problematic for Astralis with their limited engage later on into the game. But if Astralis can shut them down, Rux has no flash.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Well done from Rux. Uses the dredge line to make sure he gets away. The heal onto Reckless. The Reckless does still have the flash and will invest it.
And they get punished anyway. Reckless slightly oversteps. No summoner spells in the bot lane. And again, I come back to this idea of mental, because you come in with a game plan, right? Like, maybe we can just relieve some of the pressure bot. We don't even necessarily have to snowball it. We know how powerful Lucian Army is, but if we can just get a couple summoners, if we can even out the lane a little bit, hell, maybe we can even look for our own 2v2 fights. That would be good. But repeatedly, 113 has either shut it down or made it even harder.
Oh, Wonder underneath the tower. It does have the World Ender, which is why Finn, I think, realizes he can't really invest any further after using both of his forms of CC.
Side of the map though should be fine. Razork looking for a cross map. But now the bot lane of Fnatic kind of has to be abandoned. They're in a very difficult spot. Credit to Reckless, keeping the farm relatively even. Dior will spot out Razork here. The pings are coming down, but I don't think they can really do much about it. You can see that 113 is currently on his red. Razork doesn't quite have peace of mind of exactly where 113 is, so doesn't want to set up any invade. And he knows that with the push that Dior has, there is a real risk of a collapse. He's going to move back into his side of the jungle. Go for the red, and look at 113. Immediately has his eyes on the opponent's blue. They have the push in bot, they have the push in mid, and they will be spotted out. Really good early game planning here once again from Astralis. I was not expecting this level of play in terms of their early game, but they're using their priority well, and they are punishing this Fnatic bot lane. And this is, for the record, a large reason why you don't see engaged supports.
Yep.
Because junglers just ruin your day.
It's so annoying.
The way that you play around Prio, the fact that from level 1, whoever has Prio just gives the jungler so much agency, means that when played well, this is what happens. Yep. This is why it's so difficult. You're just going to back away from this one. But yeah, that's why you see 80 carries, that's why you see ranged. It's just Prio is so important in the early game because of how effective high-level junglers can be when they have it.
Want to know the other annoying thing about playing ranged supports? We'll talk about it in a little bit as Razork comes up towards the top lane. Now, Finn does have the flash. Bolt Baker charged. Flash away from Finn. World Ender was used by Wonder, but they're just going to shove out this wave. Gives Wonder a recourse to back away. Rifthold started though by 113. He knows that, yeah, Razork is up towards top lane. Razork has been able to get towards level 6, but with Wonder being so low health, it will be hard for Fnatic to chase this. No TP as well, as we see on Wonder. Finn.
And his back gets interrupted. And the wave is in a really awkward spot. So if we could very quickly look at that top wave too. Okay, so it's not perfect. It will still push back. Yeah, Finn's like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to push this wave. It's not a problem. But there was a real risk of a freeze there. Thank you, observers, for highlighting that for us. But yeah, just really good awareness once again from 113. Very impressed with his early game so far. He's been in all the right places at just the right times. He will secure his own blue buff. Actually, earlier, I guess he didn't steal away that early blue buff. I thought that was that whole game plan, but we got a little bit distracted by what was going on in top lane.
I think it was about forcing Reckless and Rux off the wave because then the plate was free for Kobe down towards that bottom lane. So decided against going for the blue, maybe thought it was a little greed to get both out of it, but because they got the plate, because they have this kill, because they have a few leads across the map, it's a 1,000 gold lead for Astralis 9 minutes into the game. Now 2 minutes on the next Drake, that is likely where Astralis will be looking, and Fnatic trying to set up down towards this bottom side to secure their own jungle.
So 113 has bot side camps to clear. Expectations are that with the push that Astralis do have, they'll look to try and drop the Herald here to funnel more gold into Corbe to set him up for a stronger mid game. However, level 6s have come through from Fnatic, and so my expectation is that they would look for a gank here. The problem that they have is Razork now kind of wants to path back up towards top because his Raptors have just respawned and Rux is going back to base. Corbe
Plants underneath the tower, culling being used as well. Reckless just stepped a tiny bit further than he wanted to in that lane. Cease and desist a possibility here from Razork, but I think he's just protecting Reckless as the wave does get cleared out. Rux wanted to back because he had Swifties and could refill his warding totem. Jonghoon only has one ward on it, only just upgraded it. So he'll place that ward in the river. With a minute 30 on the Drake, I expect we'll see Kobe and Jonghoon wanting to get a recall off pretty soon so that they can go and spend whatever gold they're sitting on. About 800, 600. It's not gargantuan. It's not going to change the game, but it could be enough for a fight if it does erupt around the second Drake of this match.
Good ward there from Astralis once again. They're just keeping information on that entrance. Razork, props to him, is level 7 right now. Only a little bit ahead of 113. One more camp and he should be able to secure it. Dior with the push in mid means that they can roam into the river once more. And Rux is just going to spot out a little bit of vision. Keeping my eyes on the top laners right now. You see a bit of trading happening between the two. Wonder just using that extra Q means that Finn will lose a bit of HP, but it's fine. Means Finn gets to move first. Humanoid has his eyes on Dior.
Slide in, shovels him back as well. And even though Dior flashes, no escape for him. The jet jumps going out as well. Dior trying to get away, but you just can't escape Fnatic. Cease and desist underneath the tower. Now Razork not in the best of shapes. He has the flash. 113 trading back with the subjugate. Tidal wave used as well, just to distract Fnatic for long enough. So,
good play from Fnatic. They're able to get themselves on the kill board, and it happens around mid lane. If you can't find a play in bots, then look elsewhere on the map. One of the advantages of melee supports is they are very potent at roaming and great at setting up for ganks. Dior, he did flash out of the way, but he didn't quite flash far enough. You'll keep your eyes on Humanoid here. Gets a good ultimate, still scoops up. The rise means that there's nothing he can do at this point. He tries to run away, but the chain CC is good. I like the fact that Rux, he doesn't hesitate. In solo queue, often what you do is, oh, hold my ult, maybe I can use it for the next target, but he's like, nope, I need enough chain CC. And if they hadn't thrown that out, maybe he actually could have gotten away with his life. But in any case, Astralis back out onto the map first, and they're able to secure another Drake. And it looks like Fnatic, after investing those ultimates, don't want to go for that contest right now.
Humanoid on the Azir, though, has already finished his Leandries. So only got a 51% win rate on Azir all time, but very well known for the champion, as you said, at Worlds last year. For the first week, at least, was seen as maybe the best mid laner there, definitely in contention for it, as Rifthold now put down towards this bottom lane. Every objective has been Astralis's so far. We'll say, Betty, fun fact for you, as Rifthold charges in. Astralis just secured their first Hextech Drake of Winter Split.
Wow. Someone text Trevor immediately.
Yeah.
He's going to add that to his 734-page document on Dragon Useless Facts. Thank you very much.
You're saying it's useless?
Yeah, I am.
You don't think that was at all useful? I mean, it gave you that little moment of anecdotes.
It was a fun factoid.
True.
Not a useful factoid.
Ah, but by being fun, isn't it inherently useful? Because it provided entertainment into the world.
Nope.
Okay, so you're saying entertainment isn't useful?
Yeah.
Then what are our jobs?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I know, right?
Philosophy.
I think about it a lot.
Medic, stop asking those questions, or we might lose it. Okay, Jankos was really good yesterday. Okay, shut up. Look back on the map. Need to say something smart now. Ooh, jungle path. Clever.
Ooh, yes.
So smart. Level 11, Finn.
I will say, interested to see 113 going Radiant Virtue first on the Trundle. Obviously, Subjugate used basically in every single fight, but a lot of the Trundles we see, at least in solo queue, like the Divine Sundra, mostly because it gives you more damage.
Yeah, it's about the damage.
I do understand here, you've got a Lucian and a Ryze and a Gnar, so you have enough damage throughout team fights, but Radiant Virtue, not the most common item.
Definitely interesting for sure. We'll see how much value he ends up getting out of it during the fights. Keep my eyes as well on the positioning right now of Razork. Gets spotted at 113, and it's mainly just to scare off. Well, Razork charging the Q is to scare off 113, but it doesn't matter, the damage done. The tower will go down.
5 plates as well.
Another objective secured. You can see only a 1,000 gold advantage for Kobe overall. Not the worst position to be in as Humanoid.
And here's Razork as well into the season. This is Dale just doesn't get a chance to move. After they burnt his flash, they knew Dale was going to be the punching bag.
A bit of redemption for the mid jungle of Fnatic after yesterday's performance. A second kill onto Dior. Razork will be the beneficiary of that one as they look to get a little bit more chip damage down onto that mid tower, and Razork was able to steal away the blue buff.
Now, after what was a very difficult start for Razork, he is ahead in terms of XP, he's ahead in terms of camps. Yes, he's a little bit behind in gold, but as he takes the blue, he actually evens out that. So most of the lead for Astralis that 113 garnered in the couple of early levels has been translated into a bot lane advantage. You can see Kobe about 700 gold up. But most of what Fnatic have done in the early game has been translated into a mid lane advantage. And you can see a 1.3k gold lead for Humanoid. That is it. It's going to be very difficult to deal with as the game goes on, because we did talk about it a little bit in draft. Astralis don't have the strongest engage. And Azir, when he is left to free hit on the backline, is very tricky to deal with.
Yeah, I still do believe that Fnatic have the stronger scaling as the game progresses, and right now, from their perspective, they're in a very good spot. But Astralis have secured every single neutral. This is the second herald that they can use to unlock the map a little bit more. I think that they should have considered throwing it down mid, while I do think that throwing it top can offer value, allows the Rise to push that wave all the way into the tier 2. The thing that you're going to want to do is try and get to the objective first. Dragon, you're in a really good spot right now. 2 dragons, 4 dragons, Cloud Salt, not the best, but still a potential win condition to work towards, especially with your stronger early to mid game. And by unlocking the mid tower, it gives you easier access into the river, because you can then push that wave in deeper. And again, it's not that pushing in top doesn't give you some options, because you can then commit deeper wards easier into the top side of the map to then potentially threaten a mid lane dive. But with the dragon spawning in about a minute's time, we'll see how these two square off. Kobe once again going to move back to mid. We expect to see Finn push out that bot lane. We can see Rise actually making his way down there as well. No TP available, so the rest of Astralis want to make sure that they stay together. Humanoid going to go back to base. This should mean, with the base, that Astralis actually have first access to the river. I wonder how much chip down they can get onto this tower. Looks like not very much as Reckless arrives.
Like I say, we clear it out. The lethality virus doing quite a lot of work. You can see Humanoid sitting at the top of the gold charts right now.
Look at all these wards, though, from Fnatic.
But there's no TPs.
It's a great point.
I mean, they know if anyone's there, but they can't really act on it, Betty.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, a great opportunity for potential flanks, but as you rightly said, no TPs to take advantage of. Humanoid, though, back out on the map, did spend that money.
It's a needlessly large rod alongside his Hextech Alternator on his way to a Shadow Flame. 7 seconds on the Cloud Drake, third of the game for Astralis if they secure it.
The advantage for Astralis here is they have the push in bot and the push in mid, giving them access to the rim. This is really important with their composition. Slightly shorter range, it's easier for them for Fnatic to walk in. Let's see if they can get a big fight. This is going to determine a lot in this game.
Really on how much damage Kobe and Dale can put down in this fight. Inferno Chains sidestepped by 113. Razork now starting up the dragon. This is where the wards play a big impact. They know Finn's not there. Immediately they engage. Tidal Wave trying to dissuade them. 113 still alive on the backline. Dale going in as well. And Kobe with culling is able to take down one. One with one. Into a 3-man. No! Into the realm warp. It's destruction. It's devastation. It's death for Fnatic in the river.
Fnatic fall apart as Kobe walks away with a triple kill. And for the first time in Fnatic's history, they may not make playoffs. The third dragon of the game will go into the hands of Astralis. And what a beautiful play from Finn. He was looking for the flank. Fnatic saw that he was looking for the flank, so they went for the engage, but they could not convert it into a good fight. And in the chaos of the fight, Finn found his window and tore Fnatic apart. Have a look at this. They see Finn, they go for the engage, but they engage onto Trundle. He is very tanky. Kobe is very safe. Dior then becomes the next target, but this tidal wave from Jonghoon hits onto 5. And then keep your eyes on Finn on the left here as Kobe picks up that initial pick. He stacks up the Mega on the Dragon, secures onto 3 members, including the backline, and Wonder's left isolated, so Astralis can just focus one target at a time. Incredible play from Kobe. And just a really good engage from Finn. You can see the elation from Jonghoon. Frustration on his face yesterday. A big sign of relief after their big win. And now Astralis are in prime position to run away with this game. 3 dragons secured, soul point available, and Fnatic are gonna have to find another miracle fight. They've done it before, but they're being pushed to the very limit.
What a weekend for Finn as well. The Gangplank yesterday went 9, 4, and 2 with almost 1,000 damage a minute. Here, obviously, Na's not going to put out those numbers, but he was the game changer in that last fight. He was the reason the fight went so well for Astralis' presence of mind to stack up Mega on the Dragon and not go all the way round as well, because he could have taken the long way round. I think he would have been a little bit late to the party. Probably wouldn't have his Mega Gnar fully stacked. However, still only a 2,500 gold lead for Astralis. Still only a Cloud Soul if they can secure that next Drake. They are in a very strong spot. 2 items on Kobbe. Rod of Ages stacking up for Deo, and once again, all eyes for the Fnatic faithful turn to this man on your screen right now. Humanoid, Shadow Flame, and Leandries. Will it be enough? Because he is the only man really fed enough to deal with this Astralis lineup. Still 1,000 gold ahead. Has been funneled a lot during this game, and those soldiers could be the defining factor in the next fight. Probably going to be a couple of minutes on it though. Astralis very willing just to back, reset, get themselves a little bit more gold. Probably look for that second item for Deo. Seraph's on its way for him. He's already got the tier fully stacked. Will he be betrayed by that item purchase though, or backstabbed? That's the question we must ask.
Baron's alive.
So I couldn't hold myself back.
Pings are coming down onto the objective. Astralis is a little concerned. They don't have the best vision. Can we see the vision from Astralis' perspective, please, observers? So right now you see what Astralis sees, and right now the top side of the river is good. Can we now see what Fnatic sees, observers? And you can see how they do have that one deep ward. They've got one ward in the Dragon Pit, so Fnatic aren't too concerned about it. But they have to still be careful of how quickly Astralis can force this down. 1-1-3 has spotted Rekkles.
Rekkles has the flash, Chain of Corruption, uses the flash, blast, cones rocks away, with the Realm Warp now there, and the Tidal Wave chasing him down, and Rekkles is caught! And Astralis find him. Baron is available to them, and they are making a beeline for it.
Rekkles chooses not to flash into the blue pit. I wonder if... I felt like that he could have, but he ends up losing his life there. The Baron is now an option, and Razork needs to try and steal. Finn's Mega Gnar is going to disappear, and ward has not been cleared just yet.
Once more into the breach for Fnatic.
This
One
is your
chance
moment,
for
Razork.
Razork. Humanoid there, Kobbe going in.
Oh!
Kobbe flashes the Emperor's Divide. Baited and outsmarted. Kobbe takes down the Emperor. And now it's even more difficult for Fnatic. They still have 3 alive. The hook goes wide as Razork can get into the pit, but he's got no flash for at least 20 seconds. And Fnatic realize they have no option to go in. Instead, they must forfeit the Baron. Astralis, 4,500 gold ahead, are looking to make their name here in the LEC, and for the first time, make it to the group stage.
Astralis, zero hesitation. 1-1-3 sees his former teammate and says, that guy's inting, I can kill him. Such great play and great awareness from Astralis, and again, we talked about how this comp is like so reliant on trying to build those early game advantages, but look at Rekkles' positioning right here. Pops the Ghost Blade. I feel like he could have flashed that wall. Like, he chooses to flash upwards instead. Maybe I'm wrong, but he didn't feel confident enough at the very least in the flash. He flashes upwards, pops the Blast Cone, which could have been another avenue of escape for him. And then here we see, look at this play from Kobbe. This man is locked in today. Such great awareness. I definitely would have got hit.
Yeah,
I would have got hit.
Same.
I know everyone in chat, don't lie to me, you're all getting hit by that from Humanoid.
Kobbe has been on his hair this, but I will say one thing for Rekkles, maybe the Realm Warp would have gone to that side of the wall, and then he would have been totally isolated, but obviously very hard to make those split-second decisions. Astralis, though, have been doing it very well this game as they start to push down the mid lane. You can see Finn down towards the bottom. He's just going to shove it in that way. There's going to be at least 2 tier 2s here for Astralis as they clean up one and then work their way down to join their comrade in arms. Finn still on it. Wonder able to take a tower in the top lane. Objective bounties for Fnatic. But with the Baron still up for 1 minute and 30 seconds, Astralis just doing it by the numbers.
Take a brief pause.
And during that brief pause, let's just remind everyone that the Cloud Drake is up. It looks like Fnatic are going to give this up. And while we see the soul secured for Astralis, I do just want to tell you all, both these teams currently tied for 8th place. The winner obviously goes to 3 and 5. Humanoid caught a little bit here, but he should be able to get away. If Astralis win this and Fnatic win tomorrow and Astralis lose and they're both tied at 3 and 5, they will still play a tiebreaker game for that 8th place, even though Astralis would have the head-to-head. But winning here keeps your fate in your own hands as Astralis tries to make that fate come a little bit quicker. Finn once again with a double 9 to the wall into the Aqua Prison. There's just no chance to move, not a second of hesitation. Astralis on the offensive, and Fnatic all they can do is dash and die and dodge away as Astralis push in for the inhibitor towers.
Fnatic getting closer and closer to the organization's worst split in their history as Astralis dominates the early game. They have their eyes on the Nexus and they are looking for a top 8 spot.
Only 3 minions there, cease and desist on the back line, but immediately Razork is locked up. 2 minions left, only 1 now. Astralis will tank it, but this tower's going to be pretty damn tanky right now, and Astralis realize it. They cannot close it out now. They back away. They don't want what happened to Heretics to happen to them. The game could turn on a knife edge still, but an 8,000 gold lead for Astralis makes it very difficult for Fnatic to find any purchase.
Astralis, they have not had the best season. There was not much faith in their ability to secure top 8. Everyone expected them to finish bottom 2. But at the end of the day, when you win the games that matter, that's all it takes. And Astralis have shown up today against Fnatic. With the Baron buff, they set up the siege onto this bot tier 2. And just have a look at this. Great pillar, sets up nicely for the follow-up with the Nami ultimate. Jonghoon's ultis have been spectacular this game. The 2-man wall stun from Finn. Just the chain CC is flawless. You can see Humanoid. Wow, great sidestep from 113. Didn't notice that in the initial fight, but able to avoid it from Humanoid. That ultimate doesn't land onto anyone. And now 11 kills to 2. Astralis are looking to send Fnatic to a 2-6 scoreline.
Inhibitor open in the mid lane, that will be down for 3.5 minutes. No Baron for Astralis makes the push a little bit more difficult. Obviously Reckless with the piercing arrow will be able to clear out the way pretty quickly. Humanoid now joining up with his team. Finn is down towards the bottom lane. Cobby's just going to use the culling here, but maybe a cease and desist from Razork. Cobby overstepping perhaps. The tidal wave though distracts the rest of Fnatic. They can't get close and Razork's gone way too deep. Astralis will cull him. Cobby now unstoppable on the Lucian. And you could see what Fnatic were thinking, but again, the tidal wave from Jonghoon just makes it impossible for you to ever advance.
113 with the pillar as well. Astralis have just done a great job of creating those spaces for their carries to do just that. The round 1 flank is coming in from Dior.
They're trying to get in behind him, immediately hooked, but look, he just doesn't take any damage. One already down the stopwatch, just to buy time, and Rux has to flash for the safety of the fountain. But he will not sup of a victory today. Astralis looking to claim their 3rd win in the winter split. Fnatic on their way to their worst ever performance, and Finn will bury them underneath the ground of their own Nexus. Astralis will claim victory and secure themselves at least a tiebreaker for groups.
Incredible performance from Astralis from start to finish. Their early game planning, their execution, their team fighting. Very little to fault across the board as Fnatic falls short once more. Of course, Fnatic not completely out yet, but their road to groups has now become that much harder.
A win tomorrow and an Astralis loss could still give Fnatic a tiebreaker game, but they are relying on Astralis or Koi losing and them winning. They have to win tomorrow as well. And against SK, although SK haven't had the best of weeks, it is a mammoth task for
Especially
Fnatic.
when you look at how Fnatic just have not looked good in winter. Astralis, both teams needed to clutch up today, and Astralis went above and beyond in terms of their performance. From start to finish, they had full control over the game, and you feel like that if they would have a tiebreaker, Astralis would be the heavy favorites coming into that matchup.
Obviously things can shift day to day, but right now, Astralis looking like the much stronger team. Great performance by them on the day. And great performance by them yesterday as well, because remember, they wouldn't have been in this position if they didn't clutch up yesterday against SK as well.
Very true.
Finn's Gangplank barrels, Finn's ults today.
I mean, what a weekend for Finn, am I right? That 3-man Gnar ultimate he was able to find.
And we're not just saying that because he's standing on the stage ready for an interview and he can hear us. He is one of your player of the game votes at LEC on Twitter, Finn113 and Cobby.
I mean, those 3 players, all great options. 113, Red Razork, like a book this game. His early game was phenomenal. Cobby, of course, on the Lucian. Complete
the development of the 3 weeks of the regular season.
And here we are, the final game of the penultimate day of the regular season of winter of LEC 2020.
Split one.
Split one. Winter split.
Yeah.
G2 Esports currently sitting pretty near the top of the table. They can match up with Vitality and Mad Lions at 6 wins if they win this. Obviously getting first or second seed means that you are put into your own separate group and have the choice of the lower teams behind you. Koi, if they win this, will be in a very strong position. In fact, I feel like they lock if they win this. I'm going to have to get that verified, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, they do lock if they win this. So big game for Koi. They can get away.
Somewhat.
I mean, so far this split, they've kind of been a fish out of water until yesterday.
A little bit.
Koi have.
Was not expecting them to be at the number of wins that they are currently at. Like, the regular season kings. The team that, for the longest time, I think it was 5 seasons in a row, they finished like top 3, top 2.
Things were going swimmingly in the past.
Swimmingly, yes. Yeah.
They're having a whale of a time.
Just saw what you were doing there, you cheeky devil. Yeah, okay. You've really killed my flow there. Koi, good team, very good team. Typically, they showcased some of that yesterday with Trimby's Ash, which has of course been banned away, alongside Jarvan, definitely directed towards Malrang there. They are very familiar with that after the finals in Malmö from last year. The Draven being banned away from Hans Summit. Look at him. Look at his face.
What are you doing banning my Draven, man? What is this?
At least first pick for Yike. So a little bit more of an early game focus here. We've seen a couple of junglers out from Yike, and a lot of them have been a little bit more on the scaling side. You know, Graves, Kindred, Belveth, Maokai, like a little bit more towards the late game, a little bit more either counter jungling or things like this, but this one's more early game orientated. Let's see if he does invest his time bot lane. Because remember, you lock in Zeri, that means Hans Summer's going to draft something that can kill you. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Varus Nautilus come out from the side of G2.
Koi, though, they don't have to go for the Yuumi or the Lulu here. Instead, they'll go for the Maokai. Very strong team fighting comp already from Koi with only 2 champions locked in, but you have the Maokai to keep people at bay and the Zeri who can just dash and dance around the back of a team fight. You can do a lot of work. G2 now. Do you look towards your AD carry? Because Lucian and Draven are out. Kalista a possibility if you want to go full aggro down towards that bottom lane. Instead, Jace locked in. Now, BB can take Jace up towards top lane. Caps can play it mid, so it's still a bit flexible.
A blind Jace, though. I'm a little surprised by that, especially based on current meta trends. Typically, you would lock in your bot lane here. The advantage is, let's see if G2 will pick a flex champion here. Nope, they're going to lock in Kalista. Okay, so this is what I was expecting, something like a Kalista Nautilus or Kalista Thresh, or basically just a Kalista something that can murder you. Just one of those things in the bot lane, but by going for the Jace, they do keep that flexibility open of where they can send it, whether it be top or mid, unless this is Jace AD carry, Kalista support. But I was going to say that for Koi, they're going very traditional, front-to-back team fight, long range, scaling.
I mean, it's what worked for them yesterday, right? Like they had like 8 kills at 20 minutes, and they just outscaled their opponents and had a very strong game. It was methodical from Koi yesterday. And
I was going to predict the Azir, but honestly, when it comes to Larson, it's not really much of a prediction. It is his most played all time. It is an incredible comfort champion for him, and it is a champion that is often banned. Honestly, a little surprised to not see it. But in any case, the fact that the Renekton has been banned away does suggest that Jigenda could be looking at something like a Cassante, maybe a Fiora, given that there's even a world where they go all in if they really want to double down on the team fighting. I personally think it's a little bit overkill. But when you are potentially running into a Jace, we'll see what direction that they choose to go towards. Again, they are concerned about where this Jace is going. Right now, they are thinking that it's in the mid lane. That flexibility is very obnoxious to deal with. Renata actually banned away does suggest to me that G2 is thinking about the Nautilus.
Yeah, Renata very good into melee bot laners, gives you so much potential, especially with the standard side, whatever the Q is called. It's been a while since we've seen Renata play, so I can't remember her ability name.
You expect me? It's Q. It's Renata Q. That's what it's called.
Handshake. That's what it's called. Just makes it very difficult for you to engage. As Darius ban as well. As Koi just want to lock down any possibility of us.
Blade has played a Darius game. I think it was on Schalke.
A long time ago.
It was either a quadra or a pentakill he got on that game, but you're right, it was quite a while ago. So Koi doing their research again, it was like, yeah, so I swear he's played this champion before. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. All right, let's see what direction G2, what do they want to ban away next? Lulu, Yumi, maybe they don't care about either of them. Braum, okay, so they're basically getting rid of things that are good into Nautilus.
Yep. It makes a lot of sense. And Mickey's most played is Nautilus as well, so Naut, Kalista, a very strong bot lane. I expect Koi here will take away the Nautilus.
Oh,
What
that's a
do you go
curveball
next?
G2 wasn't expecting.
What do you go next? I mean, they must have been kind of expecting it. Like,
Zeri Nautilus
yeah, but
bot lane?
why would you pick Zeri Lulu when you're playing into Nautilus Kalista? Like, you've seen the
What shot
Kalista.
are they doing
Like-
Kalista Heimerdinger?
Grab him, chuck him in. He puts down a turret. Unkillable. Puts down a turret, grab him, check him out. Come on,
Are
Mickey.
they really going to do this?
Come on, Mickey. All right, Jax instead
for now
for
they're
the
gonna
top lane. They still
okay.
have to pick their support.
Okay, so it's been confirmed, Jason mid lane. So, thinking more about it, one of the reasons why you would go AD mid is when you're running AP jungle, of course. So that you do have that mixed damage profile between your mid laner and jungler, and we've already been seeing a fair amount of Jace mid. So I suppose it's not that too unsurprising.
It's only the third Leona we've seen so far this split.
Are they actually going to go for the Ornn? Are they really doubling down on this team fight?
It worked well for
Oh,
them
Sion,
yesterday.
okay,
Sion
yeah.
does a similar thing. Gangplank, though.
There we go. I like that a lot more. I think
Okay.
that they didn't need more frontline. I think that damage is a great thing to have. And I think that when you're going into a slightly shorter range AD carry in the form of a Kalista, I'm a big fan. I think the Gangplank ultimate is great. It offers you great side lane threat too, just because of its wave clear power. It offers great team fighting. The scaling is good. Overall, I'm a big fan. I know that Jigenda is very comfortable on the champion too. So Koi's comp is simple, everyone. It team fights. That's what it does. It's really good in 5v5. It is very difficult to approach this team if they're first on the objective because of the barrels, the Azir poke, the Maokai saplings. There are a lot of obnoxious things to deal with. Meanwhile, for G2, they have a lot more of an early game focus, and I expect them to play around the bot side of the map. Why wouldn't you? This is a team that at the start of the split, that's exactly what they did.
Yep.
They gained priority through their 2 versus 2. Yike would then use that to invade, but Yike is now going to use that to look for early ganks. How will we see Koi adapt? What crazy pathing will Maurang come up with to shut this down? Will he come up with anything crazy? We'll have to wait and see.
And we will. The bot lane, Hansama and Mickey versus Comp and Trimby is a matchup that I think we've all been willing and waiting to see. Can't wait to see more of it in the best of 3s or the best of 5s. The group stage and the playoffs still upcoming. Koi need to win to qualify. They can, of course, win tomorrow as well. In fact, they can qualify even without winning if they go through a tiebreaker game. G2 already locked into our top 8 into the group stage. Now looking to get to the top. Let's see who takes it in our final game of the day. G2 versus Koi. Woo! Come on, guys. Woo! Anything happening at level 1, Betty?
Yes.
Not anymore.
Koi stacked up,
And then they backed away.
and they swam into the river.
Ah, well, this gives me a perfect time for the
What?
joke I've been preparing
Oh.
all week.
No.
You know, when you get a fish pond
Okay.
and you get koi, they're quite special animals, right?
Okay.
So you can't have too many of them in a pond together. In fact, you need to increase biodiversity. So if you get 4, one of them has to be fake, right? A fake one. So you have the A koi, the B koi, the C koi, and then the decoy. Good one, right? League of Legends.
I'm so angry right now. I'm livid. I can't. At first, I was like, "Oh, this sounds pretty good. Okay, where's he going with this?" And then, well, do you know I lived with this for 2 years?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Blessed every day, Betty.
Blessed. So blessed. In any case, as Medic said, it is our final game of the day. Let's bring up the standings, Medic. Remind people what's at stake here. If Koi win and they beat their rivals G2, they will secure a spot in top 8. If they lose, well, they're still in a pretty good position because they play against their direct opponent, Astralis, tomorrow. But if Astralis then beat them, things get a little bit scary for Koi. So, a lot on the line for Koi. G2, meanwhile, still trying to fight for that top spot. Of course, top seeding does give you a lot of value in the best of 3s next week. it does give you the advantage of being able to choose your opponents if you are in fact that top seed. And even getting second seed means that you can't be chosen, basically, which is another advantage to work towards. All in now from the bot lane, 2v2.
Mickey underneath the tower, though, he's rooted. That's going to be 2 turret shots to him. Hit the level 2 first, but Trimby actually with really good positioning there. Hooked him just slightly back towards the tower, I think, on the Nautilus. And Mickey now half HP. A melee matchup, that's not really where you want to be. Obviously, the Kalista a bit stronger in the laning phase than the Zeri, so G2's bot lane should still be okay. As Yike looks for an invade here. It's the first time he's played, at least, in the big leagues, and he's trying to make his mark early on as Larssen and Caps trade in the mid lane. Caps going aggressive. He's hit with a Tristan to advance, though, and even with the flash, he can't get away. First blood over to Koi. This will sacrifice the red buff to Yike. But Larssen getting on the board early is a very strong start for Koi.
So Malrang started Raptors into blue Grom, and then he was making his way back up towards top, given that Larssen had the push, and now he's going to realize, oh, no, my blue has been stolen, but Yike now threatening a dive.
Shigenda trying to get away from this one. TP used by Larssen. Oranges to get away from the stun, but now Malrang is here. Yike uses the repel, goes back in against Shigenda. He's going to take the tower, he's going to die for it. Yike knew something had to happen. He gets the kill for his team. Larssen, though, now 2 kills to the good. Meanwhile, the mid lane, Shigenda can just TP to this. And overall, Koi don't lose too much in terms of waves.
Okay, I'm impressed. Yeah, that was really good thinking because, okay, you could look at it and go, well, you just gave Larssen another kill, and I believe it got a red buff off the back of that. I might have to shut up because Caps is looking for more. Malrang has the smite, gonna steal that one away. Oh, and he get, okay, I mean, that's pretty good for Malrang. Cap's not going to get anything off the back of that. More fighting bot lane.
Trimby with a hook once again. Flash away by Trimby. Counter flash by Mickey. He was looking for the Shield of Daybreak. That stun on the Q. Couldn't quite find it in time.
Oh my god, there's so many cool things happening. Okay, so backtrack just a little bit. Oh, I don't have time. Shigenda needs to be careful here. Going to be able to dodge away from the cocoon, but now Yike is in danger. No one collapsing for the time being. He should be able to get the steal. And this, of course, is the respawn of the Raptors. Resetting, though.
He's got smite in 1 second,
but
so
okay,
even if someone came across, it'd be fine.
A couple things.
Yeah.
Oh, but let's look at the replay first. So Yike here recognizes that, like, oh no, we're being collapsed on. So again, the initial dive looks pretty good. The TP comes through. G2 saying, this is a good trade for us. Let's just disengage at this point. The moment that they see Maokai, they realize, oh no. Yike says, listen, Broken Blade, you run. I'm just going to trade my life 1 for 1. And like Yike or Broken Blade was very likely to die in that position. So by guaranteeing this 1v1, at the very least, you walk away with something. And you got the TP out from Larssen, and you were able to deny Shigenda some farm. You can see a small gold advantage actually being built up for Broken Blade, along with accelerating this Elise. Now, of course, the downside is you have accelerated Larssen.
And that is quite a big downside when he's on the Azir.
But
Mickey. So Comp's already used the dash here. Zenith Blade going forward. Trimby trying to get in the way as well, as Mickey is a little bit overstepped, but even the route on Hansama, Comp is just nowhere to go for him. Hansama takes him, rends him down. That's a bit of an overstay there by Comp. He should have got to the wall and then dashed through it.
Well, Comp chose not to use the cleanse there. And you could see the reason why Hansama flashed was because he was concerned that Comp would actually flash over the wall to safety. So Hans flashed, expecting Comp to then flash too, so that he would still be in range to land the rend. And he hoped to catch Comp off guard by flash queuing, making sure that there was in fact another rend stack being applied. Caps now on the row. I don't have time to talk about any of the cool stuff that's happening, but
it's fine.
Again, no flash.
Again, nowhere for him to go, even with the oranges. He's not K. Cap's still taking the tower. Cap's gonna die! 1-for-1 trade in the top lane. Now, there's a lot of minions lost here. Malrang's gonna come and try and pick some of them up. It's gonna be 2 plates for Broken Blade. Malrang might... Nah, he's not gonna be able to do enough damage to Broken Blade right now.
Yeah, no mana for Broken Blade means I mean, I would say that Malrang was the one in danger there, given that he's only level 4s and level 6 of the Jax, with the Sheen as well, but at the end of the world. But you're right. Okay, so yeah, Caps does die. And this is really bad, only because Larssen has now set up a freeze, which Caps can't TP in and break. So that mid lane gap is only going to get bigger between the two of them. The top lane gap, though, is very much in favor of Broken Blade. What Caps lost, in theory, Broken Blade should be able to gain, as Shigenda lost so much farm and XP, and the wave is now pushing back towards Broken Blade, which then sets them up for another play onto Shigenda. And look at where Yike is right now. Keep in mind if the Gromp is there. You know, I think Broken Blade did in fact just clear it, but he's making his way up towards top anyway. He has his eyes on those Raptors. Caps currently has the push.
See Malrang trying to put some saplings down, so if anyone does come and join this fight in the top side, they will know about it. The Razor Beak started by Yike. Looks like Shigenda just wants to get the shove in. Yike will steal away the Razor Beaks. Is ahead in terms of farm, about 3 camps right now. Larson trading onto caps, but they know that Yike is in the area, so Larson can't go any further.
Sorry, I just noticed the caps just has an inventory of swords, and
Yeah,
just that image
mate,
made me laugh.
He loves Star Wars, man. Phantom Menace, his favorite movie. It's General Grievous in with the 4 lightsabers.
Another one for my collection.
Oh, well, hello there, Larson. That was more Bane. He is the Emperor's Divide, gets caps underneath the tower. He flashes and knocks him back. Yike's still coming in as well, but Shigenda's on his way. Cannon Barrage has been used. I'm not sure if that was used in the top lane to try and push the wave, but was used earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that they was following along with the plot. So Grievous did not win that one. Caps forced back. Does have a level disadvantage. Gonna lose his flash once again. Potentially a gank setup for Malrang. Does have his flash available.
Dodge the Sentinel.
Nice, he's going to.
Put the sapling in. Run back. Run forth. Oh, still dodging the... He's going back! You know, at 4 a.m., you don't have cats, but I have cats. Sometimes they wake up at 4 a.m. and they're just zoom. Just side to side, side to side. They run on the bed. They step on you. Not the most enjoyable experience. And Malrang here did just zoom for a little while, but doesn't really get too much out of it. Actually, lower level than Mickey, who has already got up to that level 6. Trimby's going to clear out the Sentinel. And in the end, Malrang goes back to his jungle.
Funny enough, Mickey actually hitting level 6 before Malrang.
Yeah.
He has not been clearing his camps. Something that we have seen from Malrang a few times throughout his career. Very focused on, well, ganking, but sometimes at the detriment of his own farm. Means that only now will he hit that level 6. But overall,